Yo, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Let me finish getting set up real quick. I need y'all to come in, smash the like button. Let me finish this quick setup. And then it's time to put up or shut up. Wow, what a night. What a night of fights. On a scale of 0 to 10, how well could you guys hear me? Listen, on a scale of 0 to 10, how well can y'all hear me right now? So I can finish setting up. On a scale of 0 to 10, how we sounding? I just need to see a couple numbers, especially from the regulars, so I know how we are doing. Make sure we all clear. Got my tea. I told you. Shout out to Niter. He in the building. Y'all got to bear with me. I've been screaming and doing the Canelo Bevo. My throat is raw. Pause. That sound crazy. Listen, I'll admit that sound crazy. No, my voice is like, it's rough. My man said I was drinking Phentermine. Where business brain? He said I was on the Phentermine like Valdez. Nah, y'all wrong. This is hibiscus tea. Y'all see that? Man, crazy night of fights. Y'all know I got the Haribos. These are all the gold ones. Hey, bro, much love to the chat and the army. I called it during the watch party. Charlo and 10, bro. I had to log off for a bit. Man, if you said that, then you was on. Yeah, I got that good brew. Man, come on. What's y'all? I got that good brew. Let's get it. Man, where do I start? Shout out to Showtime. Thank you, Al Heyman. Thank you, Steven Espinoza. They got my night off just right. Those are some fights. That was superb. Like, so listen, so much so that DAZN, who has not listen, DAZN has nothing to do with that fight card, right? And look, DAZN trying to advertise the trial. This is crazy. If you go on Twitter, DAZN Boxing is they're posting about Charlo Castano. I mean, what is this? Bro, the DAZN curse continues. Why is DAZN posting about Charlo Castano? He said DAZN is thirsty, dude. It must be. Somebody better quench that thirst, bro. They ain't had nothing to do with this fight, and they advertise. And like, my thing is this: DAZN is like the source, XXL magazine. That's what my man said. He said it's like a online magazine. Bro, why are they posting the outcome to the Charlo thing? Like they work together or something. That's weird. That's extremely weird, bro. The thirst is crazy. Like, shouldn't you be worried about your campaign? Like, and here's the bro, I know the racist is mad too. The Canelo Chupapi Muñeños, I told you, they wanted Charlo to lose, even though he didn't have nothing to do with Canelo losing. And truth be told, Charlo always gives props to Canelo. But yet and still, the racist Chupapi Muñeños, they wanted Canelo, since he lost, they wanted Castano to win. A lot of the racists. Not saying everybody that picked Castano, but there definitely were Canelo fans. I seen it. I have popular social medias. Priest Dudley, $5. The boots in his fight was fixed. I sent a video in your DM showing the right hand never landed. Check it out. Do your amazing new media 1-2. I'm definitely not checking it out. Bro, you were fixed. You've been fixed and neutered and castrated. Do you understand how great I have to be to get people to pay just to send hate? Do you understand what I'm saying? People pay me to hate. That's crazy. Amazing night of fights. Jerron Ennis, we'll talk about him later, but I gotta first get to the Jermell Charlo, the main event. Right? Jermell Charlo, he a stud. H-Town, yeah. Keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth. Boy, was I impressed with Derek James and Jermell Charlo. They really did it in this one. They really did it in this one. Very, very impressive stuff. This was a high-speed chess match. This was a fight where certain rounds were super, super compelling. Certain rounds were like must-see TV type of thing. Some people even had it leading into like the 7th. They had it like 3 rounds apiece type of thing. But it was in that 7th, that 8th, and that 9th where Jermell Charlo, he showed that he a lion. Heart of a lion. Heart the size of Texas. Heart the size of H-Town. Yeah. And he started to bank rounds. And if you listen to my commentary, he started to bank them rounds back to back. 7, 8, 9. He said, they payer haters. He said payer haters. I never heard of that. That's funny. And people keep talking about Charlo's power. It's not just the power is what, of course, the shot landed, but it wasn't just the power, bro. Shout out to Prince Savage. He said Jermell Charlo became a legend. Bro, this man put on a man-style grown man performance. Like Jay said, grown man, I put hands on you. Lay out blueprint plans on you. We rat pack. Let Sam Tap dance on you then. I Sinatra shot you, goddamn. I put the boy in the box like David Blaine. Let the audience watch. It ain't a thing. Y'all wish I was fronting a George Bush the button. Bro, he put his grown man, I put hands on you. He had a man-style fight. The power, he had the power in the first fight. That wasn't the deal. That wasn't the deal. The thing that really created separation and allowed, from my perspective, allowed him to get the, man, you wild. Bro, he didn't have a grown man performance. Y'all always be laughing and saying that I'm crazy and stuff. When y'all know I'm keeping it real. That's all I'm doing. Bro, he hit him with the J, with the Hove. It was a mature, it was Jay-Z on 444. You know what I mean? It was that grown man word. Grown man, I put hands on you. Lay out blueprint plans on you. We rat pack niggas, let Sam Tap dance on you then. I Sinatra shot you, got. I put the boy in the box. Bro, Jermell Charlo said, I put the boy in the box like David Blaine, let the audience watch it. It's perfect. Bro, he hit him with the Jay-Z, the Hove, the grown man bars. Hit him with that Pusha T. Grown, he said, nah, that's Jay-Z. Y'all don't, it's threats. I've been making threats since I was in kindergarten. Ask about me. I take a mop handle off his sweep. Y'all don't know the Black album? Oh my gosh. I must be getting old. Y'all don't know the Black. Bro, Jay said, grown man, I put hands on you. Lay out blueprint plans on you. We rat pack, let Sam Tap dance on you then. I Sinatra shot you, got. I put the boy in the box like David Blaine, let the audience watch. It ain't a thing. Y'all wish Charlo was fronting. He George Bush the button tonight. Shout out to my man Alden Johnson. God bless you. Charlo's best performance. Everything he did was right. Man, the thing I like about it is it's definitive. I love me some definitive work. The first fight, people were like, oh, this person won, this person won. It was no premature stoppage. It was no like, oh, he cheated. Oh, the judges' scorecards cheated. Oh, this and that. Oh, the ref bought him time. Bro, he clipped the man and then he put him away. If you gotta go out, that's how you go out. That mother took his destiny in his own hand. Bro, Charlo also fought. Listen, y'all gonna give that black man from America, from H-Town, Houston, Texas, y'all gonna give him some credit. I'll make sure that. George Richardson, we got a $10 Cash App. Oh my God, the Cash App is alive and well. He said, here's a little paper for the culture. Salute King. Shout out to Keith. He sent $1 in the Cash App. Okay. Appreciate all the great work, bruh. Salute. I appreciate y'all. $20 Cash App. My man Dakota. Starbucks is on me. Let's talk about it. I got you. We got a $5 Cash App. Rodney Andrews. I didn't know Charlo had the Infinity Gauntlet. He do now. Derek S sent $5. Let's go. Zachary Frazier, $5. He said, keep doing your thing. Yeah, keep running y'all mouth. Dakota's back in here with another $2 one. And then you think Boots is ready for Bud or Spence? I don't think it's going to happen. See, my thing is this. With the Bud and Spence, see, this boxing fans got to get it together, man. My thing is this. People been begging for Crawford and Errol Spence, and they put that on a pedestal. Like, I'm not trying to be rude to the person, who sent the Cash App and asked the question, but I'm a grown man. So like the way I work is this, like we got to be real, got to be realistic. And I try to always do that on my channel. You know what I mean? People in general, like boxing fans act like newborns. And I really mean that. Here's why. How do they act like newborns? Because a newborn, a baby can be crying and then you flash something shiny in their face and they might stop crying because they have like short attention spans. This is boxing fans. Boxing fans have this type of like newborn infant type of attention span. Everybody's like, oh, I must see Crawford versus Spence. Some people even saying Spence ducking and all this other stuff. And then Boots is on his way up and doing his thing. I've been telling y'all about Boots about a while. And now people are just switching gears. We ain't even got past Crawford, Spence, and people all in like Crawford need to fight Boots. Errol need to fight Boots. I thought y'all want to see them fight each other for all the belts and undisputed. Now you want because Boots is the mandatory. Now you don't want undisputed. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like it's like a newborn attention span. Or maybe that's just the society we live in. But people is like we live in a microwave society. They got like all the Instagram and TikToks. Y'all be scrolling and can only focus on a video that's like 2-3 seconds long. People was just saying they wanted to see undisputed. We just had a great undisputed fight. Now people are like, oh, who cares about Crawford Spence? They need to fight Boots. I mean, this is madness. Dave Young, I know this is off topic, but rest in peace to the victims in Buffalo. Yeah, I had a dedication on my Boxingego watch party. Most definitely, prayers go out to the people in Buffalo. Innocent lives lost. I think it was 10 of them at this point of recording this video. Horrible news. Let's Get Ratchet sent $2, and then we'll get to some more of the breakdown. Dion said, man, the fight exceeded the first 100. Yeah, that's a good take. He said, Lions only. America. Richard, $2. Yo. No message. Shout out to Richard in the Cash App. George Richardson sent another $5. He already sent the $20. Do you think Jermell would be better with Derek James? No, I think Ronnie Shields is good, but it could be good just being with that energy of his brother and being with Errol, so that could be good. So I don't know what his situation is, but either guy, Ronnie, like my thing is this, that's not it. Jermell, he can fight regardless. He just need the opportunity. 160 kind of dry. Shout out to Be More where they see more. Let's go. Laura Sweat from Be More said, y'all haters okay? Y'all got to get the likes up. Bro, y'all disrespectful in the likes. This stream will end. Likes or loot. That listen, I'm not finna lose my voice and all this stuff for boxing. Alexa, stop. Alexa, cancel. I'm not finna do all this and lose my voice for boxing and stuff. I had a great watch party with you guys. We could just end it there. But I told you, I can't operate when so many. Do you mean to tell me that many Canelo, Chupapi Muñeños, or people who are mad that they just watching the stream and not support? That can't be the case on my stuff. I worked too hard for this. You listen, in life, y'all got to know what y'all worth. And my time is money. So that must be respected. I respect y'all time. I'm trying to, there's people super chatting and sending Cash App. I gotta show them the respect. And then I'm trying to break down this fight. I'm one person. Let's go. Ramon. Oh, he's sending a long one. Hold on. Bro, he's sending a long one. Hold on. Let's get through this. Excellent stoppage. Jermell Charlo to become the new undisputed champ at 154. I knew it was only a matter of time because Brian Castano was running into counter left hooks all night. See, there we go. Ramon with the breakdown skills. See, I don't mind when you guys leave long, like detailed, when it makes sense. Like this is, some people they send a whole long thing hating. This man breaking down the fight to perfection. Let me keep going. Plus, the short uppercut was on the inside was money. A fighter can only take shots like that repeatedly for so long. The rounds were close, but Charlo owned the ring generalship. Accurate punching and defensive criteria with his boxing ability. Man, are you a boxer? Bro, he killing it. For the majority of the rounds, get that man a spot on the pound for pound. Bro, that was an amazing... Bro, he just made my job easy. Shout out to Ramon Emiliano Estrada. Bro, he just made my job... That was beautifully stated. Much love to you. That was amazing. That was a great breakdown. That's all we here for. We here to talk to boxing. That was a great breakdown, bro. I agree. I think a difference maker in this Charlo rematch, y'all got to get the likes up. Difference maker in the Charlo rematch was Brian Castano. I told you, there's a lot of fighters from Argentina, and it's just a different schooling out there. A lot of them can box and have power, and they're awkward. Shout out to Ramon. Excellent stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of the fighters, if you look at great fighters that have come and been in big fights from Argentina, there's some similarities. Sergio Martinez, that's one of my favorites. Sergio Matavilla Martinez. He can box. He has like a level of looseness and slickness, but he's also awkward. You remember he knocked out Paul Williams, had a war with Paul Williams, beat Pavlik, beat Julio Cesar Chavez, who was way bigger than him, etc. You look at Diego Chavez, gave Keith Thurman a war. Tim Bradley had his eye looking crazy. You look at guys like Lucas Matisse. He got away from his boxing ability, but he used to box more. Like, I thought he beat Zab Judah, Devin Alexander, and they robbed him. You know what I mean? But he had boxing ability and power. Maidana, he started like picking up little things, boxing with Robert Garcia, etc. And, you have kind of a combination of these things in a Brian Castano. So he's very difficult. because he throws power shots and he's faster like Martinez, but then he also has some pop like Matisse and Maidana for the division. So he's like collectively, you know, a lot of these people. So Jermell Charlo had to walk the fire to go get that. He had to go get that. It wasn't going to be handed to him. Hey, from Argentina, I wanted Castano to win the fight, but props to Charlo. He's a great champion. That's boxing. Shout out to my man. Yeah, I mean, fighters win, fighters lose. There's no problem with that. You know, we just got to show respect to the people who are competing. Ricky Williams said it was a great win by Charlo, and Derek James is the trainer of the year, 1000%. It says Mel made the fight harder than it should have been. The jab would have made the fight a lot easier. I agree and I disagree. I feel what you're saying, but my thing is this. I don't know. I think if we say that, I think we take away from what Castano is and what he does. If you look at it, some people thought Castano beat Erislandy Lara. So I think really it's just a credit to Castano. He's awkward. You know what I'm saying? He's just an awkward dude, bro. My thing is this. I really feel the difference maker in this fight was to beat the Castano that was showing up in the first two fights. I think it was he couldn't just box every single round because them little flurries and, you know, if you didn't give nothing for Castano to respect, then he gonna try to get off and steal rounds and all that. But he couldn't brawl because you're in there with a shorter person. So you don't want to just have nonstop brawls because the shorter person, short arms, throwing a bunch of power shots. You don't want to hook with the hooker. Lada has no power. That's not accurate. Lada got power. He's just not a killer. He don't have killer instinct more than he don't have power. He got power. Look at Angulo's face. Lada got power. He just don't. He's not an aggressive fighter. Shout out to Gerald Collins. He sent $5 in the Cash App. Just showing support on the channel for your channel. Appreciate you, bro. Listen, I think what it took for Charlo to beat Castano was he had to, you know, the cars that are like gas, they take gas, but they're also electric. Like I think of the Chevy Volt. They got some cars like that, right? Where you could put actual gas in it, but it's also an electric car. It's that hybrid. I think that's kind of what Jermell Charlo needed to do against Brian Castano. He couldn't be all gas like a regular car. He had to be energy efficient. You see what I'm saying? Like an electric car. So I think he was a combination of a gas and electric car. If he was just a gas car, then you could get chinned out, you know, or chinned up by a guy like Brian Castano. If he just kept pushing forward and like in them exchanges and hooking and all that stuff, you might mess around and get dropped or knocked out or something. But I think he intertwined the two and lived in both of those worlds. And he did it to perfection. And the first part of the fight was difficult. But I mean, Castano's fresh. So it's like the best version of him. He showed up late. He fresh. He got the most energy he's going to have through the fight. So those rounds were going to be difficult no matter what, because there was a lot of pride. Argentina versus USA, back and forth banter. Every belt was on the line. What happened in the first fight? He was arguing he won. It was all these things, you know. So I think the early rounds had to look like that, to be honest. Like at first I was like, oh, Charlo getting touched in certain exchanges and stuff. But I think that's what also won him the fight, to be honest. The fact that he would stand his ground and went, like, he stood his ground probably, I want to say even more in this fight. He had to walk through fire, bro. That's why I respect it. It was a man-style, mature performance. He had to walk through fire. There was times where Castano pop and landed a good shot, a nice little two-piece or something. And then Charlo would fire back and gun a right hand just to show him like it ain't sweet. If you gonna come get me, come get me. You're not finna just be bink and pinballing you gonna feel something back too. So he stood his ground when needed to. He boxed and jabbed and used his feet to create some distance and gauge and offset the pressure and presence from Charlo, a dog for real. I was incredibly impressed. People said Charlo can't box. Now they slitting their wrist because that notion out the window because he boxed. But I think what gave him ultimately the success is he didn't just be a boxer. Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't just like box and what they say run and all that. He stood his ground too. Like, yeah, come get some. I'm here. I'm here for the long run. I'm here for the long haul. He didn't just tuck his tail and cower. He stood his ground, even if he had to get some licks in the way. And you know how discouraging that is? You know how discouraging that is if you used to hurting guys and melting guys and guys like retreating and the guy just take yours and it's just, you see sweat flying off his head and he just right there and he return fire. It actually, that's kind of what happened with Canelo, if I'm being honest. Now y'all got me in my bag like a magician. Listen, I said they was hoping Charlo would lose. They mad, they was wishing. Now listen, I said they was hoping Charlo would lose. They was mad, they was wishing. Now y'all got me in my bag like a magician. That's a bar. Now y'all got me in my bag like a magician. And we flexing that angle. Shout out to Donnie. Charlo with shields fought like Lada on the back foot and not sitting down on his punches. That's why people say they didn't know if he had power and all that. Shields is a nice trainer, but not on Derrick James's level. I mean, I'm not gonna say that to him. I'm not gonna say that. He fought like with Holyfield and Tyson and stuff. I can't say he's not a trainer, but like you guys have to understand with training and stuff, certain guys can get to you. Certain guys can get through to you. Maybe the personalities didn't match up. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember Chavez Jr. and Freddie Roach? Freddie Roach, I think, was kind of just getting the money. I think Freddie Roach is like he takes it serious. If he said he's going to be there at 6 p.m., he'll be there at 6 p.m. Chavez Jr. was waking up in his draws and his chonies eating Lucky Charms. So I don't think that really worked well. Same thing with Nacho Bearstein when he worked with Chavez Jr. Them dudes, Freddie Roach is an OG. Nacho Bearstein for sure an OG. So that's not going to work well with a Chavez Jr. if he like eating Lucky Charms and pink draws and chonies and not showing up when you say you're going to show up. So, you know, it could be something like that. Sometimes y'all all had you ever had that teacher you just like? You just like, you could be a class clown in 4 other classes, but that one teacher, you respected him. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna act halfway decent in this person class. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he woke up in pink draws on the all access of the 24/7. Eating cereal. You supposed to be training for Sergio Martinez. Charlo got his grown man on. Very impressive. Very impressive. But I think oh, we got an $8. Shout out to everybody showing love in the Cash App. We got an $8 Cash App from Lucian. He says, man, this is $8 for the gas electric hybrid boxing bars. I try to bar y'all up, give y'all some analogies y'all can feel. Jermell Charlo, he was a gas and electric car all in one. If he was an electric car, what is an electric car good at? Being economical. Off of one charge, you can drive X amount of miles. You know what I'm saying? When gas prices are through the roof, it'll save you some dollars. But if you get an old muscle car that requires gas, It might have a V8 engine in it, right? That's a muscle car. So that's gas. That's pure power under that hood. It got a V12 engine, V8 engine, pure like gas octane, stick shift, switch gear. To beat Castano, he was both of those. He wasn't just an economical boxer and, you know, aka the electric, you know, the Tesla. He was a muscle car too. He was a muscle car and a Tesla. And he intertwined the two, and that's what I think gave him the victory. Hold on, Texas in here right now. Texas, let Texas talk. Texas said they want a piece of this. Texas, bro, them South boys, they gonna make sure you hear it. Shout out to my man, Trill Boxer Talk. Already, he says, so what they know about them Texas boys? So proud of Jermell Charlo. He said we want all them belts down here in Texas. Facts. Shout out to Trill Boxing. Bro, he came and got that. Hey, like this might sound weird because I don't have like I don't really have like a super personal relationship with Jermell, but when he won, bro, it just felt good. Like I felt good. I don't know, it was that type of fight. And I think it's because it's the essence of what boxing is. You see what I'm saying? I think that's why I really felt good. Like, bro, he was repping America. He's like USA. He said he had a lot of pressure on him. Let's keep it real. Jermell Charlo had a lot of pressure in this fight. A lot. Some people would suggest that he lost the first fight. Then there was the press conference with the USA, Argentina. Plus, let's keep it real. You got the Canelo fans, some of them, the Chupapi Muñeños, the more toxic Canelo fans, right? And because Canelo lost to Bivol, this was last week. So you know some of the haters and old media and stuff, they was hoping that Charlo would lose, even though these fights weren't connected at all. But some people look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? They looking at it as retaliation. So all in all, I just felt proud for Charlo for real because he shut everybody up. Some people said he couldn't box, shut them up. Some people said he lost the first fight, shut them up. He decisively won. Some people said like they didn't even put him on a pound for pound. Bro, listen how disrespectful and racist some of these dudes are in positions of power, like writers, media, deadline writers in boxing. Jermell Charlo been kicking and taking names for a while. They have never put him on the pound for pound list. Now all of us. So listen, this is why my position in the game and what I do for the game is so impactful, because I keep it real. I've always respected Jermell Charlo. I've always told y'all to respect Jermell Charlo. So after a performance like that, I'm not surprised,
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I told you I was picking Charlo. I said he can win a late stoppage. I think it was in the 10th round. Or he could win a decision, depending on how much he could take. And he couldn't take it. So it was a late stoppage. But look at old media. Now when they do their next list, maybe either they're going to keep being racist and leave him off it again, even though he has every single bout, or now they're finally forced to get that black man from Houston, Texas. Hey, stop that cat. Keep running your mouth. And now they're forced to give him credit. And out of nowhere, they're going to have to put him on the list. You see how that works? So they haven't been building up Charlo, either one of them. And then now all of a sudden he's just going to be on the list. You have no choice now. It's not controversy. This was the end all be all, and Castano got slept. So that's why, like, I don't like racism. But at the end of the day, I know at the end of the day, God don't like ugly. And people who think like that and move like that in boxing or elsewhere, You'll get what's coming to you, and you're gonna look crazy. You're gonna look crazy before I do. I promise you that. Bro, these dudes look crazy. You tried. I've made videos about all this. I said, how is he the ring? How you got Shakur Stevenson, black kid from Newark, Jermell Charlo, black fighter from Houston. They both got Ring Magazine belts, yet old media don't put them on the Ring Magazine top 10. Explain that. They're Ring Magazine champions right now, both of them. But they can't get on the Ring list owned by Golden Boy. Bro. That's like Kim Kardashian. She got that company, Skims. That's like her going to a Skims store and she can't get a discount. She can't use the fitting rooms. Bro, it's her store. What are we talking about? What's the point of winning for certain fighters for them to win the Ring Magazine belt is even when they get it, they still can't be ranked on the top 10. Explain how that worked. Or they have to do what Jermell Charlo did today and do something so crazy, fight fire with fire and sleep the dude, and then you have no choice but to finally put them on when they should have been on anyway. You see what I'm saying? Like now, old media, watch, you might see a couple lists and they finally put him on it. But he should have been on it anyway. But they wait and they use, like Wilder. They waited, Wilder, black man from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Oh my God. They waited for Wilder to lose. And then now they're like, oops, we can't put you on. You're not a champion. They did Wilder so bad. Wilder had 10 title defenses. 10 in a row. And was sleeping mostly everybody. Never made it on pound for pound. Old media said Wilder was garbage. Tyson Fury knocked him out. Tyson Fury on the list. So how you get on the list for beating a black fighter that was garbage, according to old media? But you can't be on the list being that black fighter with 10 title defenses. If Castano what happened to Castano tonight, if that happened to Charlo and Charlo got knocked out, who believes that Castano would not creep up on the list? Or in the first fight? In the first fight, let's say Castano knocked out Charlo. Who believes Castano wouldn't have been on nobody's pound for pound list? I even tweeted this a couple days ago. Notice old media, black fighters don't shift on the pound for pound list unless a non-black fighter lose. How does that even work? I tweeted that. Go follow me on Twitter at Boxingego. How do you have a pound for pound list and then the black? So what I'm saying is this: you have a black fighter, right? He got a picture of Canelo and he put monkeys. So that says more about you than it does anybody else in this chat. Look, I'll put him on the screen so you know who to block. Bro, Canelo got beat up. What are you doing, bro? So just so you guys can see, we got racist number 1, Angelo Montano. He has a picture of Canelo. You guys see it on the screen. And he has several monkeys and a banana because he thinks that's cute. And he racist. Dope. Now, please remove him for the chat so the people who want to talk boxing don't have to see stuff like that. So, back to what I was saying. Shout out to Prince Savage. Boom. Rockabye, baby. When they hate, donate. And then when I bring these things up, even though I just put it on the screen and you've seen it, I didn't say nothing about nobody's race at all, like always. But you see what some people bring into the conversation. And then when I talk about it, some of the same people who do stuff like that, they say, oh, why are you making this about race? How am I making it about race? I ain't said nothing about Castano. I didn't say F Argentina. I ain't say none of that. That's not me. That's not what I do. Respects to Castano. He laced him up. He held a good account of himself early. He mixed it. You're going to win or lose. He lost. It's that simple. Canelo man fans always make it about race. Like I said, it says more about them than me. So Charlo, man, he really excelled, and he put a classic fight together and a classic performance. I hope you guys all respect it. And he enters history. There's only probably maybe 10 fighters, maybe less that even been undisputed. You know what I mean? I could probably name them all, from Lennox to if we're talking about the 4-belt era, Jermaine Taylor's and B-Hop, Usyk, Canelo. Now you have to throw Jermell on that list. So that's why the racist is down bad, because they was hoping and praying since Canelo lost. They was hoping and praying that Jermell lost, because now you have no choice but to put him on the pound for pound list. You have no choice but to give him respect. It was definitive. It was conclusive. And that's just what it is. He enters history now. He enters history. Josh Taylor, yeah. Crawford, yep. He enters history. No one can take that from him. Great night of boxing. Absolutely. And really, listen, just who a chump? Who? Biz Brain had to get you out of here. Listen, this is going to make the Canelo Chupapi Muñeños even more bad. Watch this. This was a better fight than Canelo. I take nothing away from Dimitri Bivol. He had an amazing performance. See, you guys have to understand, I'm the man in boxing. I'm going to give it to you how y'all want. The Canelo fight wasn't good. It wasn't a good fight. It was a good performance. There's a difference. Luis Ramirez, $5. Appreciate you. What do you think of Boots Ennis' performance? Surgical. My next boxer up and coming. Yeah, he's dangerous, bro, because he's big. I wonder how long he'll be able to make the 147. He look big, bro, and he a savage. It's like DMX said, now you got what you came for. Surgery with the chainsaw. Castillo Clayton got what he came for. Surgery with the chainsaw. Boots, he nasty. I liked his jab. That's what really stood out. The fact that he was educated jab. And guys like Golovkin, Kovalev, Boots, that give him Charlo's arrow, their jab is a power punch because they're strong. Jermell Charlo, Arrow, Triple G. Hell no, guys. Kovalev, Duran. Guys that the jab should be the first. The jab should be probably the first thing they teach you in a boxing gym. That's probably the first punch they'll teach you to throw. So everybody should use the jab. So to see an educated jab from the young brother from Philly, Boots, I was impressed. That's what created all the jab sets up the combinations. And that's what he did. That's what Jerron Ennis. Actually, that's why Canelo, he took a major hit, bro. His brand took a major hit. That Bivol fight, they took a bad one with that. I can't even hold you. Because like, why do you have a 23-year-old, I don't know how old he is. Let's say 23, 22, whatever age Ennis is. Why do you have a 22-year-old with 20 fights or whatever he got, and he educated behind the jab, setting up his combos? He don't even got he got 4 times less fights than Canelo. And then in this equation, Boots clearly is bigger than the Castillo Clayton. They both made weight. I'm not talking about that. But I'm just saying his arms look longer. He's bigger. So you have a younger guy who's bigger, and he's staying smart and setting it up with the jab. Then Canelo is the shorter guy, and he fighting a bigger Dimitri Bivol, and he got 60 fights, 50 fights, and Canelo's jab was like non-existent. He trying to load up on every shot, like Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. That's pretty pathetic when you got the experience that Canelo Alvarez had. You see what I'm saying? That's not good. Anybody, Jermell Charlo, educated jab. You have never on my channel ever heard me say, hey, I hate when people use a jab. I always celebrate the jab because you can get so much done. And it's somewhat forgotten with this new generation. A good jab, that's going to take you around the world. Icy said, I didn't see the fight yet because of work. But those that pick Castano must have never heard that saying, never fight a technician twice. Ooh. H-Town, where you at? Icy from Texas. So you know he was going to rep. Bro, he said never fight a tech. I like that, Icy. Shout out to Icy. He's an up-and-coming boxer. You'll hear about him. Bro, I like that. Bro, and what makes it worse for the Canelo Chupapi Muñeños is you got guys like Jermell Charlo and Ennis, and they use beautiful jabs. Canelo got more money. He been paid more, and he has more fights than both of them, both Jermell and Jermall, and he threw the basics out the window and tried to bomb out a bigger Dimitri Bivol like He-Man. You know what I'm saying? So that tells me you completely were full of yourself and underestimated the man Bivol, and you thought it was going to be like the Kovalev type of fight. Some like square up and down Eastern European dude. Like, let me take it a step further and continue to give you my thoughts and comparisons to the Canelo Bivol fight. In the comment section, and y'all got to get the likes up. Can y'all get the likes up? I need y'all to get the likes up. What's good? Is this a glitch? Can y'all get the likes up? There we go. Y'all got to jump in. Let's go. See it, man, as a full-time content creator for several years, it goes a long way when you guys do that. And also subscribe. Y'all got to subscribe. Oh, we got 444 like Jay-Z, just like that. See, I knew there's a lot of people in here. I'm trying to tell you, this is what enables me to have these conversations ongoing with you guys. You know what I mean? But another comparison to the Canelo situation is on top of Canelo not using his jab, is one, this was a better fight. Clearly. Bivol had an excellent performance, but Canelo looked sloppy and was trying to blaze the man, and he fought like he's not like he didn't have the experience that he had. Block Derp. Oh, he mad. You mad, huh? Tell him why you mad, son. Block him. Another thing with the Canelo fight. See, the Canelo fight fans, they live in denial, so they don't like to hear this stuff because they live delusional lives. They live delusional lives. They don't want to hear the truth. Bro, if we're being honest, Canelo, like, I'm not taking anything. I don't want to sound like I'm taking anything away from Bivol because I really like what he was doing. But Charlo, his opponent, the way they were fighting, the way Castano fights, I think is more sneaky, and you got to be more like alert. Bivol was just core fundamentals, but I feel like Castano will give anybody problems. You see what I'm saying? Castano will give anybody problems the way he's fighting. Like, he's sneaky. He's like little sneaky moves and flurries out of nowhere, pretty quick-handed and stuff like that. Canelo, he looked bad, and then like Bivol was just doing basic fundamentals, basic kind of up and down stuff, and just boxing pretty well. I feel like Charlo was in there where he had to fight fire with fire at times. Castano was increasing the pressure, and then sometimes he was taking a step back. Like it's just a different dynamic. Bivol wasn't like Canelo looked horrible, and Bivol wasn't like nonstop coming through. Like it's hard to explain, I guess. Castano, there's like a nonstop threat because he has so much presence. He's shorter than you, pretty quick-handed, pretty quick reactionary moves, flurries out of nowhere, sneaky shots, body shots, short hooks, awkward punches, confidence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bivol wasn't doing all that. Bivol was like in and out and then move and stuff. It was just like more up and down, like more just mechanical, and he just still whooped Canelo. Jermell Charlo was in there where it's like, if he makes one wrong move, he could get clipped up. So it's just like a different level of danger. And this was a better fight where the fighter being tested, the A-side fighter, Charlo, produced a knockout. Everyone expected Canelo to produce a knockout. And Bivol wasn't like nonstop pressured. Like, I don't know. I'm more impressed with Charlo than Castano. And Castano got all this. I mean, not Charlo Castano. Charlo than Canelo. Bro, we always give credit to Canelo for all the stuff, undisputed and stuff. Canelo's run at undisputed, you didn't have to fight no Castano type of person. K-Dot, hit me up on Twitter. I mean, Instagram. Send it in my Instagram. That's hilarious. That new K-Dot album is raw too, Kendrick. Bro, I just feel like Bivol's stuff was... He was just more up and down, but he was just got the job done like that. Castano was doing some stuff where it's like an error in judgment. If you jab or throw a punch and leave it out there, you're in danger zone. Bivol beat Canelo down, and it didn't look like it just looked like he just was beating him with basic fundamentals. Like, you could be the way Castano fought, you could be a great boxer like Tony Harrison. He would still have problems with that style. So we gotta look at what's being printed in boxing. Cause Canelo, people never had a problem putting him on pound for pound number one, but they won't even put Charlo in the top 10. But from what I'm seeing, Charlo undisputed was far. His run at 54 is, listen, I'll tell you like this. I'm so confident in what I'm saying. If you disagree, I'll send you a link. We could bet something. Who want to bet bread? I know these young boys can't beat me. I know they can't beat me. I'm going to say some statements and let's see who agrees. Jermell Charlo has a more impressive run at 154 than Canelo. Is that cap or is that fact? So you look at Canelo when he was at 154, Canelo weighed at 155, and you look at what Jermell Charlo's done at 54. My statement, Boxingego, is that Jermell Charlo has had a more significant run. Is that cap or fact? Because Canelo gets all this credit, so he's the gold standard. We got to use him. Bro, Canelo lost to Lotta at 154. For real. Canelo fought a small Mayweather who weighed in at 148, got polished up, and lost almost every round, if not every round. He beat Angulo coming off of a loss. Angulo was coming off a loss. Canelo was coming off a loss, and he stopped him in the 11th. He knocked out Liam Smith, who nobody had ever even really seen in America. I mean, that don't match up well with what Jermell Charlo's been doing. At all. Jermell Charlo fought Jason Rosario, who's bigger than him and a dangerous, threatening guy who put pressure on guys and had come off the J-Rock performance. He beat Tony Harrison. He beat completely different styles. Jason Rosario don't fight like Tony Harrison. Jason Rosario, Tony Harrison don't fight like Castano. And he fought Harrison twice, Castano twice. Just those 4 fights is really difficult because they all have their own like strengths and weaknesses. Jason Rosario coming off the best win of his career where he stopped J-Rock in Philly. Canelo, his undisputed reign, point number 2. Canelo going undisputed. Bro, oh my gosh. Let me cook this man. Canelo went undisputed in 12 months. Bro, he fought 4 white fighters only, 2 from England. They threw in an extra belt for the Caleb Smith fight, and then he fought Caleb Plant. 2 guys with kind of boxer styles with power that Canelo wouldn't respect, and then 1 guy who had power, but he had never fought, and he was coming off a year-plus layoff and a loss to John Ryder that they robbed John Ryder. Stop. You talking about a time limit, and you fought Yildirim. Man, stop. Bro, the Canelo man fans, go to bed. It's over. He talking about he did it in 12 months. Well, if everybody could move like Canelo and pick every fight, then everyone would just be able to pick the fights they wanted. But we know that's not the reality for majority of the guys. He said a bunch of paper champs at 68. Yeah, see? Bro, Jermell's fighting completely different styles that are all good. Tony Harrison can beat... Tony Harrison, I just watched his last fight. He just fought... What was it, on the Errol Spence card? I just seen him. He just fought. He looked good in his last fight. He just fought. Tony Harrison can fight. And Charlo arguably beat him twice. John Jackson... That was a good fight at the time. John Jackson was outboxing Charlo, just like he was outboxing Andy Lee, and Charlo clipped him. Austin Trout, that's a veteran guy. Of course, Castano, that's probably his greatest recent feat. He knocked out Lubin, #1 mandatory. Knocked out #1 mandatory Charles Hatley. Bro, Jermell Charlo is impressive, and he's not getting the credit from the world of boxing outside of me. Vanes Matarosen, perfect. He beat Vanes Matarosen, Gabe Rosado. See? Bro, Charlo been cooking for a minute, and no one gave him credit but me. Bro, if you look at Canelo's undisputed run, everybody knew on paper those styles play well with what Canelo does. You see what I'm saying? Clenbuterol Alvaroy says if Canelo went undisputed at 60, it would have been better than 160. Absolutely, because he would have had to beat Charlo and Andrade. Yeah, but that's what we're getting at. That's an amazing point. Bro, but Canelo played stupid games, win stupid prizes. We know what styles... Okay, I'm the greatest that boxing has ever seen. For starters. How come I've been telling you the styles that I feel will give, win, lose, or draw, give Canelo the most problems, and coincidentally, he never fought them. To this day. And in the one person that I wanted to see Canelo fight years ago when he was calling him out, he finally fights him and he gets dominated by him, and that's Dimitri Bivol. What are the odds, Patty? What are the odds? No, I started a new stream. This is another one. What are the odds? But again, Canelo had all this leverage and bargaining chips and powers. So the powers that be allowed him to pick his fights, and that's why he didn't fight Andrade. Bro, if we know what we know about Jermell Charlo, when Canelo was at 54, he could have fought either Charlo, and we see that there's still, there's basically one's undefeated and the other one is almost undefeated. He has like one questionable loss. So imagine if Canelo would have fought them at 54. That would have been better for his resume. But he stayed away from the Charlos at 54, Jermell at 160, Andrade at 160, and it yet gets on the number one pound for pound and gets all the praise. Meanwhile, Jermell Charlo just fought a style that would give his style a lot of problems. Crafty Argentine boxer with power in both hands, who had just become a champion, beat Patrick Teixeira, arguably beat Edis Lundy Lada, beat Errol Spence in the amateurs. Bro, it's looking bad for Canelo. That's just real. Now, I know this is what they do to black fighters. They're going to say, oh, Charlo Castano was a bum and all that. But he wasn't a bum when the same people in the first fight were saying that Castano won. But now he a bum because he got knocked out and he couldn't complete the task. You see how boxing fans be doing? Canelo fighting a 36-year-old Kovalev who almost got stopped by Yard off a quick turnaround. And you want me to believe that that's super impressive. Bro, he in the back with Chris Brown. Wow. Wow. Charlo in the back with Chris Brown. He said Charlo embarrassed the best. He said Canelo best. Block him. Just block him.
He's ready to go.
Block him. Bro, he said Danny Jacobs, he embarrassed him. That's not even true. Canelo didn't embarrass Danny Jacobs. Block him. Just get him out of here. Y'all play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Block him. Bro, people just saying anything. But we still making money though. G-Road. No coincidence Canelo moved to 168 after Zurdo moved up and Benavidez got stripped. Oh, talk to him. That's what I'm saying. Talk to him. Bro, Canelo could have fought either Charlo at 54 or Jermell Charlo at 60. He could have fought David Benavidez at 68. Errol Spence at 64. Even Big Charlo at 68. And take the Showtime deal. And he didn't. He could have fought Jermell at 54. He could have fought Jermell at 60. Demetrius Andrade at 60, 68. Oh, it's bad, bro. Meanwhile, Jermell Charlo is showing you how it's done by actually fighting styles that Tony Harrison is a style that should or could beat Charlo. If you look at what Charlo does well, Tony Harrison's slick, power. Castano, same thing. That's not a cherry pick. These are fights that you in a real fight, boy. Even Jason Rosario, bro. Some people, based on how Rosario look, they're like, I don't know. Charlo gonna have to be safe. Charlo gonna have to be smart in there. Jason Rosario, big, bro. He big and powerful, and he had just ran down on J-Rock. Man, very impressed with Charlo, bro. And then the crazy thing is, you had a lot of the racists. They were saying like, "Oh, Charlo got beat up in the first fight." And remember at the Boxingego watch party at the beginning of my last stream, what I tell you, I said a lot of fans are emotional and they keep talking about what happened in the first fight, and it's a fresh set of downs. In this second fight, I think Charlo will make the adjustments. This is the same song and dance. This is the same song and dance all around the world, same song. Remember Ward Kovalev? I even used that as an example in the Boxingego watch party, right? I used that same philosophy. People kept talking and focusing all their energy on, oh, Andre Ward got beat up. Andre Ward got his butt kicked. Kovalev crushed Andre Ward. Oh, Andre Ward got knocked down. Andre Ward this, Andre Ward that. And they focused so much from an emotional palette that they didn't even really break down the rematch. What is each fighter? What are their best things on a given night? What adjustments can be made? Who's more likely to make the adjustment? It's the same thing. And Ward Kovalev, it was the same outcome, just like I predicted. If you go listen to my Boxingego watch party, Ward Kovalev part 1, the same outcome that just happened with Charlo Castano happened in Ward Kovalev 1. First fight was compelling and it was a good fight, and people were like, oh, I don't know who won. Second fight, Ward showed you, I can make these adjustments. I'm better than this dude. Whatever happened in the first fight was the first fight, but watch how I show you this separation. That's exactly what Jermell Charlo did. First fight was good. This fight was great. I think in the rematch with the Ward, the only difference with that comparison is Ward Kovalev. I didn't really see Kovalev having that much success in the second fight versus the early rounds. Some of them rounds was like super competitive with Charlo and Castano, and it was more of a like fight of the year type of war, but it was the same outcome as Ward Kovalev. A lot of people emotionally picked Castano because they said he was robbed and stuff like that. Bro, he didn't make the adjustments. Kenneth Pickney, $5. How are people still letting Canelo off the hook for saying he's not fighting Mexican fighters anymore? Kenneth, I don't know. I ain't letting him off. And then look, bro, I try to tell you, Canelo is in the worst and most difficult spot that he's been in quite some time. Probably even after the Floyd Mayweather loss is not as bad either, because you could say, oh, he's only 23 and all this goofy excuses they came up with. Listen, what does this suggest about Canelo Alvarez, who was supposed to be pound for pound #1, if when the going gets tough, Dimitri Bivol blew you out the water? Like, just hear me out. Hear me out. We're not going to stand for this inequality in boxing. When a black fighter has a controversial loss or win or fight, we always hear old media and they prop that up. Oh, Jermell Charlo got destroyed and Castano really worked him over. Let's be honest. Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo won, or Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol won. What fight was more one-sided? Be honest with yourself. And I'm not talking to any of the racists. I'm only here talking to the real fans. If you look at Charlo Castano part 1, and then the first fight, Canelo and Bivol, who was dominated? Who got dominated? Did Canelo get more dominated versus Bivol, or did Charlo get more dominated versus Castano? Watch how I work. Okay, exactly. Fans are saying Canelo, he got dominated versus Charlo Castano was more competitive and close. So my point is this. How do these racist fans, they say, oh, Charlo, he got his butt kicked. Charlo looked horrible versus Castano. They say even the brother, Jermell, They say Jermell Charlo Montiel, he looked horrible. He was exposed. All these types of things. Charlo took a late replacement because his first opponent failed a drug test. Jermell Charlo fought Matt Korobov. A lot of the racist Canelo fans, they say, oh, Jermell Charlo, he lost. He got exposed by Korobov. He looked horrible, right? He got exposed by Montiel because Charlo didn't knock out Montiel. Jermell Charlo got exposed by Tony Harrison. Jermell Charlo got exposed by Castano. This is what the Canelo Man fans, a lot of the racist ones, were saying. So my thing is this. If Charlo got exposed by Korobov, he almost stopped him in the 12th round. I was at that fight live. If Charlo Castano got exposed, if Charlo got exposed versus Castano, and the fight was a draw, and people was like, oh, this is a robbery and all this, blah, blah, blah. Right? And Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo, if that was Jermell, a black fighter from Houston, being exposed, and then Jermell almost stopped Montiel and hurt his hand, and it went to distance, and he got tired, but he was still, fighting his heart out. If all of these fights with these black fighters are being exposed, even Wilder versus Fury, you heard the racist fans, a lot of them in the old media said Wilder was exposed, Tyson Fury kicked his butt, blah, 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 blah. So my point is this. If these are the worst, all the thing these fights have in common, they were all close. All of them. All of these fights were close. Then you look at Canelo versus Bivol. Out of all those fights, if you looked at Wilder Fury 1, Wilder knocked Fury unconscious. The fight literally could have been ended right then and there if Jack Reese would have just said yay, right? You look at Charlo Castano 1, Charlo Harrison, Montiel Charlo, Charlo Korobov. All these fights that the racist Canelo fans be saying the black fighter was so exposed, right? What do you have to say about Canelo versus Bivol, seeing how out of 6 fights, Canelo had the highest ranking, made the most money, had the highest pound for pound spot, and he got dominated, and everybody's saying it. So explain how that makes sense. Explain how Canelo Bivol, the Canelo Man fans, have the least amount of criticism for him, and he arguably lost 12 rounds out of 12. He lost 11 rounds out of 12. He lost 10 rounds out of 12. None of these other fights involving any of these black fighters, no one lost 10, 11, 12 rounds. Wilder didn't lose 12 rounds. He couldn't have. He had 2 knockdowns. How did he lose 12 rounds? Charlo Korobov, he almost stopped him in the 12th round. So how did he lose 12 rounds? But the Canelo fans saying things with their emotions, they not making sense, yo. And then they say, oh, don't talk about Canelo Bivol. Bro, he had the highest ranking. Like, Jermell, he not even on the top 10 pound for pound list, according to old media. Why would I hold him to a higher standard than Canelo, who old media said is number 1? My man Ramon said Bivol ain't been paid yet either. Yeah, Castano probably got his paycheck in the Cash App right now. Bro, that's what I'm saying. The commentary got to make sense. And then Charlo won against Castano when the first fight was controversy. But then the Canelo Man fans are begging Canelo to avoid Bivol to fight a 40-year-old Golovkin who hasn't looked good for years. Nah, y'all got to keep that same energy. Bro, so the point I'm making is simple. You see it perpetually in boxing. A black fighter like Charlo gets more criticism for how he looked versus Castano, but then he actually fought Castano again and just stopped him. A black fighter like Andre Ward, biracial, black and white, he got more criticism for getting beat up by Kovalev and all that. His next fight was Kovalev. and then he stopped him, just like Charlo just stopped Castano. But then you have the Canelo Chupapi Muñeños. They're saying, oh, Canelo dared to be great. Canelo's too small. Bivol needs to leave Canelo alone and fight better B of Smith winner. Hey, dodge and swerve the Bivol rematch and just go fight Triple G, who you already beat years ago and hasn't looked good since that point. So that's why I say Canelo's in a precarious and very dangerous position. Because all the criticism that the Canelo fans have for Ward and guys like Charlo, they just did the noble thing, did the immediate rematch, and then stopped the person. So let's see Canelo, who claims he beat Bivol, and Bivol only won 4 or 5 rounds. Let's see Canelo come back and set the record straight in the Dimitri Bivol fight. So if Canelo does anything other than what Charlo and Kovalev and Sugar Ray Leonard and Anthony Joshua and other people have at least attempted, it's going to show you something about Canelo's character. And that's the reality of it. It's going to show you about his character. Because when Charlo, when he was met with adversity in the form of Tony Harrison, he came back and stopped Tony Harrison. When he was met with adversity in the face of Brian Castano, who's a great fighter, he came back and stopped Brian Castano. So if Canelo chose Bivol, it didn't work out, you lost, okay, that's fine. Losses happen, but you got to run it back. That's the code of boxing, especially if you've been ranked as high as Canelo in terms of everything, pound for pound and all that. So it's super interesting. We're in super interesting times. And Canelo's next decision could make or break him. You know what I mean? Because I'm really curious what he does next. Shout out to Argentina. What's up? I'm truly interested to see what Canelo does next. And I think we all know what the right thing is. Don't run and fight Golovkin. You should have fought Golovkin first and then fought Bivol. But you chose it how you chose it. Now you got to do it the Warrior way. We worldwide. We got Argentina in the house. Let's go. No, credit to Castano. He did his thing, but he got clipped. He said he loses to Bivol again, but he got to, bro, you can't claim you won. I'm on his neck like a pit bull. You can't act how he acted and then give up and then claim you won and then give up and then say, hey, I'm doing something else. No. I reject your deposit. He said, I respect Castano more than Canelo. Castano showed up and fought his heart out, of course. I mean, we got a $5 from Brian Allen. The money keep coming in.
The money goes into my baby.
Bro, Canelo doesn't get special treatment. We should all celebrate what Charlo and Castano did today. That's boxing. You're going to win or lose. That's cool. I'm not mad at Castano. He showed up. He fought his heart out. And he lost. That's okay. See, we live in a society that's made a lot of y'all fearful and afraid to lose. You know, when you think about something, it's more likely to happen. You see what I'm saying? That's how the universe works. If you think about something all the time, if you think negative things happen. That's just laws of attraction. That's how it works. Canelo played the game as long as he could, constantly skipped around certain guys, didn't fight Zordo Ramirez, David Benavidez, Charlo, whoever else, Demetrius, Andre, Errol. He didn't fight none of these people. He didn't rematch Lada. He didn't do none of it. You picked Bevel when no one told you to. You came up short. You can't tuck your tail and then now like expect because it didn't work once that people are gonna. It's wrong. I don't think that's the code of boxing. Period. I don't think that's right. So basically, Canelo's a front runner. When things are going his way, everything's good. Then he gonna be like, "Oh, viva Mexico, cabrones," and everything's good. But then we don't get to see the side of you when you're up against a wall, like Mayweather, like Ward, like Sugar Ray Leonard, like Charlo tonight. That's not right. When y'all said Mayweather lost to Maidana and Castillo, he ran it back. Funny how Lomachenko, he does lose to Orlando Salido. He don't ever have to rematch him. He does lose to Teofimo. He don't rematch him. Teofimo loses to Camboso. Who's fighting Camboso next? Boop. Black fighter, Devin Haney. Why Teofimo? You chose to stay at 135. You could have fought Devin Haney. You could have fought Ryan Garcia. You chose to fight whatever, Camboso, mandatory, whatever. You came up short, and then he gets a get out of jail hall pass where he's like, "Oh, I can't make weight." I mean, this is the boxing game y'all want. But then Charlo, that's why I'm giving him so much credit. Charlo was ridiculed. Charlo was insulted. A lot of y'all said Charlo lost. A lot of y'all said he got his butt kicked by Castano. A lot of y'all said that it was a robbery and all this type of stuff. And he ate that. And then in the end of the night, he redeemed himself in the rematch. We knew this was the tiebreaker. This was supposed to show who was better, and he knocked the man out. Castano was knocked out. PBC running boxing. Or shout to Flat Out Rude. Guess Canelo's not daring to be great. Laughing. This man been funny all night. Shout to Flat Out Rude. Bro, and that's what the fans say. The fans like, "Oh, Canelo daring to be great." So guess what? Jermell Charlo just was great. He took a style that's problematic, not just for him. I think Castano give a lot of guys at 54. Bro, there's a lot of fighters that Castano give them work, beat them, or give them a tough fight, unless he's not the same after his loss or something. Same as Ward Kovalev. Charlo put Mike Coppinger in his place. I don't know what happened. I seen when he went in on him he said, "Yeah, Mike Coppinger." The way he's like, "You ain't never boxed Mike Coppinger." Why? Hey, that part was funny when he said that. I don't even know why he said that, but that was hilarious. Ramon, I got a video on that coming soon. Yeah, respect to Castano. Can you imagine Fundora versus Castano? That'll look crazy because the height differential. Who would win that? Castano versus Fundora. I just thought of that right now. That height differential would be crazy. Castano he might have some problems just because he's shorter. He gonna be if he looked that short next to Charlo, he gonna be crazy short next to Fundora. Bro, that would be a crazy fight. Bro, Fundora, every Fundora fight look crazy because his height is just really what it is. This man said Canelo finna fight Katie Taylor. I'm done. Yeah, Fundora, he gonna give guys problems just because he's his size. Y'all hilarious. Anyway, I'm out of here. I got to give my voice a rest. Please make sure y'all come in and smash the like button. Check out some of the other content. Yeah, I got to give it a rest. My throat, I'm tapped out. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Shout out to everybody for supporting. Great night to fight. Jermell Charlo, congrats. Jerron Boots Ennis, congrats. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace out.